Hey all, we are officially in Sagittarius season as of today, November 22nd, 2019. And this weekend reading is going to be our lunar pool for the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Our first lunar pool of the week. I had to take a few days there away, about 4 days there away, to finish getting the mid-month November 2019 readings out. So if you are still looking for mid-month or end of the month readings for November, check those out if you haven't seen them yet. Six of Fire, Six of Wands is your first card out. These lunar pools, this weekend reading for the collective is, of course, as always, for any and all signs. Three of Chalices shows a second time. This kept coming up for you while I was shuffling and meditating with the deck before recording. And so I was saying, I was kind of coming into the reading with this feeling that we were finding a lot of reasons to celebrate. Finding that we were around people we could truly celebrate with, who truly supported us. Either literally finding reasons to celebrate, like looking for them and finding them because of a need to celebrate, to release, to just sort of unwind in that way, or finding that we just have many reasons. I think this is a very lucky time, a period of 2 or 3 weeks that we're probably about halfway through now. A very lucky time with Jupiter having its final days in Sagittarius, and about to be conjunct with Venus there. Venus about to move in a position to be conjunct with Sagittarius there. And that's exactly what I see on the table at the center of the reading. Victory and celebration. A win coming out on top in a battle, a win, a victory, and then the celebration with close loved ones, those who support us, maybe imbibing, maybe drinking, partying in order to celebrate, maybe needing to keep an eye on how much. That's possible when we see the Three of Cups, and especially this particular version. But in this case right now, looking at this, they really just look like they're having fun to me. I don't see the toxic side of this right now. We'll see what else comes out for us out of the Deviant Moon Tarot that we are using today. We do have the Chariot here, crowning the reading in your higher thoughts. I'm going to do a full Celtic cross spread for us since it is a weekend reading. Okay, so since it's for 3 days, we're going to do a longer reading, and then, especially on a week like that, I only got this one out for us. I really do love doing the lunar pools, even though not as many subscribers, viewers get into those with me, but I love them, and I do miss them when I don't get to them. So for those of you who do check in regularly with the lunar pools, trust me, I was disappointed too. I wanted to get to them, but I wanted to get those mid-months out. And they really did seem like messages that wanted to come through. Maybe I'm just connecting deeper in a new way around this time as well, but the messages got pretty specific and pointed and really wanted to come out. So those are there for you. As is the Nine of Swords. In the root of the situation, there was actually a lot of fear and worry, anxiety, doubt, maybe even full-blown insomnia, sleepless nights, feeling a lot of pressure, possibly just self-imposed mental pressure, feeling that, certain tasks, reaching this goal, this victory, this win was impossible, too difficult. That sort of makes that Chariot card reverse make more sense. Sort of makes that Chariot card reversed there make a little bit more sense. that some of you have put so much pressure on yourselves in order to reach this victory, this win, that you still feel stuck because you still have yourself stuck in your own mind. Is there a chance that some of you here are still not satisfied with your performance, still not feeling like you've done well enough for yourself, even though there's a victory here? The Six of Wands, the difference between, so, the Six of Wands and the Chariot card do both speak of victory to me. And that Six of Wands up right at the center of the reading is usually saying that a humbling victory has been won, meaning that the individual, the victorious soldier who emerges from this battle that we see is actually someone who is actually not the same someone who entered the battle, right? The battle has changed them to the point where now that they've gotten what they wanted, there's someone else who is actually enjoying those spoils, because that battle was somewhat of a journey, and it has likely enlightened the soldier, as well as just transformed them in a to a certain extent in some way. Whereas the Chariot card, the major arcana version of victory in the deck for me, often usually brings up the fact that victory is only the beginning, and it is in reverse here. But like I said, that could just be because you are still stuck in your own mind. We also have the Two of Air, Two of Swords here in the recent past. The near future, two cards wanted to come out, the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Water. I feel like, some of you have a new emotional beginning with a mature, feminine, fire energy, Aries, Sag, or Leo. Now, that might be a romantic, or it might be, a friendship, a roommate, even a job offer that you're emotional about. Or raise, promotion at your job that you're very emotional about. But yeah, it looks like an emotional new beginning concerning a mature mature feminine fire energy. Just because I'm saying feminine energy doesn't mean it's not a man, right? And just because I'm fire energy doesn't mean saying fire energy doesn't mean it has to be an Aries, Sag, or Leo. It could just be someone who embodies those traits, someone very bold, social, persuasive, intense, passionate, maybe temperamental even, very connected to nature, seems like they can really inspire and influence a lot of people at once, get everybody very interested in what they're interested in, because they're charismatic, they're beautiful, their energy is very vital and attractive, enticing, tempting, sexy, right? So it gets a lot of people to get on the same page with them and to help them build whatever it is that they might be dreaming about or that's on their mind. Because whereas they're the ones who are very inspired and have a lot of great ideas and a lot of power and influence, they're not always the ones who can carry those inspirations and ideas out. Even the king and the queen, they can be so caught up in the fast movement of their thoughts, their ideas, their weaving through different social networks, like a social butterfly, flitting about, all of the socializing elements that go into that they just really can't get their plans and ideas focused enough to ground them and make them real without the help of those people that they so effortlessly enlist the help of, right? So that's either the energy you're embodying here in the near future, and it grants you an emotional beginning, you becoming more of that person is what is granting you your emotional beginning, what is giving you an opportunity, very much based on sharing openly with other people. at least someone else, right? Using that charisma to do so, giving yourself a new opportunity for happiness with the Ace of Cups here. Or it's, as I said, a new emotional beginning with someone like that. In your inner world, you have another 3. So 33 may be particularly significant for you around this time. 33 may hold an additional message to you around this time. For me, I'm feeling right now, it's telling me that you're working toward creating something. You're working toward creating something. But this, some of you need to be very careful about what this mental energy, this constant worry, stress, fear, the constant pattern of telling yourself that what you've accomplished isn't enough, about what it is doing to your stomach area. I felt sharp pains that I know are not mine in just trying to describe how uncomfortable, and just beginning to say the words that it feels very uncomfortable. I started feeling exactly where and how, describing this trifecta we have here, where your higher mind knows that you're not moving forward, you're not feeling balanced, you are stuck, but only in your mind. And it's this stress, worry, fear, having never let up from the root of the situation, this anxiety having never let up, even though you have reached your goal. And I think that the victory here, the win, when you won this battle, when you gained this victory, it just didn't look the way that you thought it would look, right? Like I said, you're humbled. It's a different experience now that you're a little changed, right? And I think this is just, for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, this is just that fear, that worry is remaining, and you need to be really careful about what that's doing to your stomach. You're holding way too much tension there. It's just way too much pressure that you're putting on yourself. This is a time for celebrating, and if there is any overindulgence, it'll likely be because of that same trend of being too hard on yourself and never letting yourself release without being intoxicated in some way, right? Relax without getting outside of your body with some kind of substance assisting you. For others of you, you have made the choice to leave that worry, fear, doubt, anxiety in the past. You have reframed your relationship with whatever external and internal catalysts were causing that, right? And you've decided to leave it behind. And that may be what this fork in the road is here in the recent past. For some of you, it was simply realizing that you had a choice and making a choice to leave that behind. Whereas a lot of you chose to physically advance forward, physically appear the victor, and physically go out and celebrate with loved ones about the victory, but mentally and maybe emotionally as well remain stuck, remain fixated on what went wrong, how you could do it better, why it went wrong, what bothers you about what didn't turn out the way you thought it would. Yeah. Or, or whatever it is specifically for you about that victory that you're still, that doesn't really relieve you or free you of that worry that you might carry, that you're internalizing, really. So that other 3 in your internal world is the 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Earth. A focus on work you love to do, a focus on a necessary collaboration, perhaps. In your external world, you have the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands. A stable, happy, comfortable, peaceful, a very calm, inviting, healthy home and or family life. And you are advised, I believe, to focus there for the time being instead, or at least a little more than you are currently, to appreciate that environment, especially in terms of the family, or just what that stable, comfortable, happy environment offers you emotionally. Is that why you have this opportunity for true happiness with that feminine, fiery energy in the near future? Again, having the opportunity either to embody and utilize that type of magic, or to have a new emotional beginning with someone that could be described like the Queen of Fire, right? Because your advice card is the Ten of Chalices, the Ten of water here. Shared emotional fulfillment. So you know, some of you are being asked to collaborate. And for a lot of you, that was what the decision was about here in the recent past. You're being asked to engage in a necessary collaboration, probably in order to bring to life the type of work that you really truly love to do, at least ultimately and eventually, even if right now this collaboration is more just about resources, paying the bills, right? It would still be getting you to a point down the line where you were then able to focus some time and energy on work you love to do. But for some of you, it's more direct than that. It is a collaboration that helps to bring to life something that you really believe in and love to do and are happy to invest yourself in. But a lot of you are feeling like you don't want to do that with a within a necessary collaboration, within these partnerships that you're currently being asked to give a chance to. And I mean by the universe, by the divine. This is the opportunity that's in front of you. This is probably for a lot of you why the victory didn't look the way that you thought it would, because probably this win somehow involved making a decision to engage in a necessary collaboration that you're not really sure makes you feel like a winner, that you're not really sure makes you feel like you're getting to take this in the direction you want. And someone else, or one of my readings specifically, may have been Leo, the last one I did, was getting something similar. You may just want to make this combination as harmonious as you can. Give it a chance. Give the universe or the divine the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps it is more harmonious, truly, in nature than you have yet seen. Perhaps it's a better combination than you suspect. Or even if not, you're advised then to make the best of it. Utilize these skills to influence and inspire and persuade those you have to work with to see your vision, right? To help you build this new emotional opportunity or expand on it, right? I think you're advised to try to make it a collaboration that is somewhat like a family, where everyone can achieve emotional satisfaction, where you all can at least acknowledge that you do, even if you don't see things eye to eye, you do mutually love that which it is you are working on, that project, that subject matter, and so can experience shared emotional fulfillment within your little collaboration, right? Doesn't mean that you have to feel like a family with these people necessarily outside of that work environment, or that you have to go on to be best friends or anything. But in order to make the work, the project, the best that it can be, right? It would be best if there could be, if it's possible, some mutual trust within that collaboration, some actual time spent bonding, so that your communication flows more smoothly, efficiently, effectively, right? Again, it's about the work. It's about that which you are working on. It's about the project itself, if that's what it is that we're looking at. And for a lot of you, it's a passion project even. And then in the more distant future, the last card we have that came out in the reading is the King of Swords, King of Air here. So mature masculine air energy, mature masculine Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini energy here. And I definitely forgot to tell you at the beginning of the reading, now that we're 20 minutes in, the moon is in Libra currently. Of course, it finds its way into Scorpio by Sunday morning. So before the weekend's over, it will change signs. And of course, we are fast approaching that new moon on the 26th here in just a few days, right? Our new moon in Sagittarius. Which that could also be what we see here in the near future. That could also be what the Queen of Fire is representing for us. That the new emotional beginning, the new offer for happiness, for a new emotional beginning, maybe to be part of a collaboration. Might come in right at that new moon. That might be what brings that energy in right at or around that new moon. On, yeah, Tuesday the 26th. And this is an energy, this King of Air is one that does not want to let others down. Those he's working with in this case, it sounds like, but just in general. He's a very honest, brutally honest, often very pragmatic, a very cerebral energy. He's logical before all other things, sets his emotions aside for logic's sake, in fact, and others' emotions aside for logic's sake. The facts are the facts, right? The truth is the truth. A promise is a promise. He very rarely makes excuses for himself. If he cannot live up to something, you know, he likely was honest with himself about those limitations to begin with, right? So it's very rare that he even gets caught in a situation where, well, it's just very rare that he would let someone down because of that, right? Like we said at the beginning, like I said when I started, he's if you're honest about your limitations, right? That doesn't mean that you never say no to someone. It just means you know right off the bat that you don't have the room in your schedule to do a favor per se, right? He's like that. He's like that. He's going to be very honest with himself and so with others. And he's going to demand that back from people. And that's what we see here in the outcome of the situation. So this might be another one of the energies that you're asked to, that you need to, that you find yourself embodying in order to successfully work within this collaboration, this group with these people. And in order to make this combination as harmonious as possible. Yes, you may have to be patient and forgiving as you all get to know one another, as you all really mold this project or this work. I do think that the combination is fated, and it is a magical trifecta if it is specifically 3 of you working together on something. And I think that the cards are lying out the path ahead of you and sort of warning you that yes, there will be moments of harsh miscommunication where miscommunication seems immature, where especially in these next 2 weeks, right, the post shadow of Mercury retrograde makes communication confusing, where you all disagree with how to bring something to life, where you maybe feel that what you've said to one another is harsh, disrespectful, and it's probably just a matter of, again, the post-shadow period, and also Mars is in Scorpio as well, so we might have some dark reactions continuing for a minute. But also just that you're getting to know each other and getting to know how you work and getting to know how you communicate. So it's sort of brand new. But that ultimately, you all can help one another make a wish come true for all of you. if you can sort of come out of your shell with each other, not be so closed off because it's a matter of getting to know someone new, right? And it's going to require, you know, a deep, sincere, very strict commitment to said project and schedule, you know, especially if there's 3 or more of you. There can't be one person who's always trying to rearrange the time, show up late, blow things off, move the date, you know. That can't happen. That's going to be required of you and everyone working within the group too, which, you know, that might be part of what you don't like about the situation, the combination, because it starts demanding more of you if you're going to work with others. You know, I love doing this work, being on my own schedule. And if the schedule needs to change, I don't need to check with anyone but me, right? And so for a lot of you, that may be the case. You find it needs to be a collaboration, at least for a time for you, but you're not prepared to stay committed to a schedule all week like that. And it's the King of Swords is showing up, suggesting that type of planning and very masculine structure is what is coming in for you at this time. So this could also be one of the other collaborators. And these could be the other 2 collaborators. That it's the fiery, intense, persuasive female who talks you into the group, makes the emotional offer to you to begin with, perhaps while you're celebrating this victory together, right? And so it could be friends of yours whom you do know and are familiar with, but you all just don't know this side of each other, where you're working on something that's a passion project, or potentially like a business or work where you can gain resources together, right? And then this may be the yet another personality in the group, not as warm and inviting and enticing as the collaborator who made the offer, but someone who's going to see that the project gets done and on time. And yes, they may be a little rigid, and that might be where some of that harsh communication comes in, for sure. It's not that there aren't obstacles to making this work. It's just that the reading would suggest that the work itself is the point and is worth it. And so this is what you're asked to do. This, you know, I know that you can't bring this energy in, this worry, this fear, this doubt, this anxiety, this mental stuckness. That is a recipe for an argument among the collaborators, for sure. That's not something that you can really bring with you. If you've made this choice to join this collaboration, if you've made this choice to choose in this direction, then own that choice and move in that direction, right? If you aren't sure about that choice, if you want to go back on that, then speak up and say so, because looks like you, a lot of you may be working with someone who, like I said, is going to give you that respect and really is going to demand it back, right? But as with all these messages, they can always be flip-flopped. So I can be describing parts of you that someone else is contending working with as well, right? It may be you who has tried to put the collaboration together, and it's someone else who's having doubts about it. And I've kind of described for you the process, the mental process that they're moving through in evaluating the situation. So you can, you know, flip-flop it and apply it to yourself. But I do think that ultimately it's a fated and harmonious connection, combination, mixture, with a little bit of patience and even forgiveness along the way being required here. The 3 of you can create something very specifically yours, very uniquely and specifically a combination that only the 3 of you or the group of you could amount to, right? And I think for a lot of you, we're talking about creating something, working on something, in something that works to heal others, which would be why that type of message would come through so strongly to elevate the work and to make the work that would need done the point here, the purpose, the thing that glues you all together, keeps you working on your dynamics so that the work can be done. That makes sense to me. You know, if it heals a lot of people, it looks like it looks like for a lot of you that's what it is, and maybe you don't even realize that it's the type of work that could be healing, therapeutic for others. But that is what I see coming through for us for our weekend lunar pool here, for the time when the moon is in Libra and then moves into Scorpio, as I said, during Sagittarius season 2019. I hope that you all are making the most of Sagittarius season already and continue to definitely make the most of the Sag new moon that we have in a few days. I think I will try to put up new moon readings for us this time, or something around the new moon for us at least. I'm pondering on that, but I'm loving the Sagittarius energy, so I'm definitely inspired too. And I do hope that the needed insight was able to reach you here today. If you are needing a personal reading and would like to order one from me, just scroll down to the description box below where you can find all the information and links that you would need there, as well as my email address and the link to donate. Thank you so much to those of you who do. And the information about this deck that we used and all the decks that I use in Lunartics Tarot readings. Thank you so much to all of you who support Lunartics Tarot and all the different ways that you do, like, shares, comments, subscribes, emails, messages, etc. It's all so very appreciated. Thank you. And with that, I truly look forward to doing another lunar pool for us just as soon as I can.